Okay, thanks a lot, Jeffrey. And now it's time to get very, very serious. My very special guest not only has a master's degree in special education, is the CEO and founder of Your Beautiful Child. She not only teaches at the August Acorn Center and is a yoga instructor and is an improv actress. All that, she is the one and the only Shane B. Kulman. Shane, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So let me ask you right up top, what made you get a master's in special education of all things?
I was a teacher at first, and then I realized that so many children one-on-one weren't getting the love and the attention that they needed, and I could be more of service if I worked with them separately.
Right. So that led you to starting Your Beautiful Child?
Yeah, well, I realized I don't follow directions well from people who try to tell me what to do, so I realized I had to go out on my own because my ideas were different than what I was taught in school.
Since you're the founder, let me ask you, is there a meaning behind Your Beautiful Child? Because let's face it, not all of us, especially me, would have a beautiful child.
You are a beautiful child.
Oh.
Actually, I'm a huge fan of Stevie Nicks, and when I was thinking what should I name my business, I looked up all of her songs, and Beautiful Child is one of her songs. And the more the business grew, the more I grew, the more I realized that we all have this beautiful child in all of us. This beautiful 3-year-old with all this promise and hope and joy and fun. And so the more the company grows, the more the name makes sense.
Since you bring that up, with the company growing
Yes.
as it is and becoming successful, the website, a podcast you have, teaching, and everything else on your resume, would there ever be considerations to expand even further and do more?
Yes, I'm learning how to let go of control of everything, and right now I'm looking for assistants and people who are willing to grow and be open and have no ego and just love the children and love the people that I work with unconditionally.
I know us here in the TV business just know about egos. Is there an inspiration that because working with autistic kids has to be draining, is there something that inspires you to like never give up?
I have to say, children with autism are not draining at all to me.
Really?
I find them perfect. It's a lot of times, and with all the love I have to say, it's the parents and the teachers that have all these expectations on them. They're happy and free. They have no judgment on themselves. They just do what makes them feel good. So they're my inspiration to keep on loving the children that I work with.
Talk about the Mindful Action Project, if you can.
Yeah, the Mindful Action Project is based on improv acting and yoga, bringing it into District 75 high schools, which are special needs children about 13 to 17. And it's avoiding them becoming court-involved youth and being incarcerated. And it's letting them feel their feelings and giving them a space to grow. And with the training that I've done from the Open Door Acting Company, it's so healing to be without feeling any pressure about being right or wrong.
Is there a point where it can be too much freedom of expression? I mean, is there a limit that has to be set?
There's no limitations. We have certain agreements that we start with. No touching, no hands on each other's bodies, and be respectful and be nice. And with those agreements, which I've taken from the Lineage Project, it really lets people be real in imaginary circumstances. And some of those imaginary circumstances are real for these children, but they don't have to fess up to it. So giving them a reason to play is really what it is. It's just having fun.
Would you say that in teaching, in that aspect, that yoga could be helpful in that field?
Yeah, along with the improv acting, it's about getting into your body. And I learned none of this in my master's program, but realizing how much time we spend in our heads, judging and thinking and second-guessing ourselves, and not realizing that life is going on right here in this very moment. Like, we both worked really hard to be here right now, and that alone is exciting.
Some of us harder than others.
But that once you get in your body and you can breathe and meditate in a way that serves the internal workings of the body, you can be free to express your dreams.
Do you ever bring music into the teachings as well?
Yeah, I'm a big metalhead, so I bring in the music I like. And so when I'm having a long day at work and it's like, how do I get this long day done? And you mentioned all the things that I do. If I get to play Skid Row with a child and we get to dance around and use that energy in a positive way, I'm psyched because I'm having the most fun I could have. He's excited, regardless of his disabilities, because I'm excited. And it turns into a little party with a 4-year-old. And I'm being authentic to myself, which is the whole key into getting everybody to be successful.
Let me ask you, going back to autism,
Yes.
what are the signs, and is there a level of, not controllability, but of curability? Is there a level that can be reached?
It's interesting. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so it's hard for me to say signs, and I believe we all have a little bit of autism in all of us. And by that, I mean there's certain things that we get stuck on, there's certain sensory things that we all seek out or are put off by. And so when people say cure, it sounds like it's a disease, and that means something that's not within ease. And so I know that parents want to cure, but the truth is, if it can be managed where a child can be loved unconditionally, regardless of what they're doing, they'll be able to move on. If a parent is disappointed that a child is flapping their arms or having a tantrum in a food store, that child feels the disappointment and then is afraid to move on.
Right. Would you say that with the level of autism, because it's rampant, the numbers are staggering,
Yes.
do you think autism awareness isn't getting the recognition that it deserves?
I think it's getting awareness, but now that people are aware, they don't know what actions to take. So they're like, oh, I'm aware. And now what? They freeze. And so I know everything can be cured with love.
Right.
So if, something is happening, let's say on the subway, maybe just look away. Maybe stare at the parent and smile at them because they're going through a really hard time. And my job is to let everyone know that there's nothing contagious, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing scary about autism. It's just getting more in depth as to what works specifically for that child, as opposed to our school system where it's like, okay, you're in 5th grade, you need to learn this, and you need to learn it this way. Children with autism are like, actually, I learned from looking around the room and not looking at you. And some people might think that's rude. They learn that way. We have to just accept it.
Why do you think it's on the rise?
For me, I believe it's environmental when it comes to what we eat, what we breathe in. It's cheaper to manufacture foods instead of going to the farm. And I'm not a farmer, I'm a Brooklyn gal, but I'm aware how I feel physically after I eat certain things. And so there's all these questions, and part of my job is to just deal with the issue at hand. But I do believe that we have to pay more attention to what we eat and what we put in our bodies, on our skin.
Guess that means no more fast food for me. And so let me ask you, would you say you're more inclined to be on the favor of herbal remedies or the medical type?
I think there's room for both. I think that it's really important to exhaust everything natural and herbal. And then sometimes children learn better with medicine, but in accordance with therapy and therapeutic ways as well, because this whole country is based on, here, take a pill, here, take a pill. And what happens is you take a pill and it's supposed to cure one thing, but there's 40 side effects. So is it really worth it? And so in this yoga idea of going within is to find your own answers, is to go with your own intuition. If the doctor says, eat this, and you feel bad, maybe don't eat this. You are the own boss of your body. And with children with autism, I'll tie it back in, they are the boss of their bodies, and we can learn so much from them just by the way that if something doesn't feel good, they'll let you know. They don't feel obligated and they don't have to push themselves through it. They're just like, I'm out, and they leave. And you're like, that's amazing. I want to be able to do that too.
Right. So with everything going on, let me ask you, what's next on your agenda?
So next on my agenda is to take over the world with seriously with love, with fun, and with joy. I mean, through all the things that I love, but all the things that I can get resources to offer people is to be more authentic. And if everyone in the world could do that, just a little bit more, and stop pleasing others and stop being so judgmental on ourselves, and I'm still learning that, but it could change the world. No ego, less ego, being aware of your ego and being like, oh, that's my ego, let me move on. And yeah.
Well, you definitely taught me a thing or two. Shane, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hope you come back again soon.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get some more laughs with the great Chanel Futrell.
Cyclone.
I want to thank all my guests and my very, very sexy and helpful crew. But most of all of you for allowing me in your homes. By the way, vacuum the rug. Please go to cyclonecomedy.com for more info and like the Cyclone Variety Show on Facebook. Until next month, I'm Cyclone saying, God bless America.